Hello, everybody. I'm Joe Finn, and we're broadcasting live from Gramophone's Experience Center here in beautiful Timonium, Maryland, directly across the parking lot from our existing Timonium store. And we're glad to have all of you folks join us here. We're pretty excited about tonight's guest. Before we move any further, though, let me just ask if you haven't subscribed and to our YouTube channel, please do that now. Also, I want to make sure everybody here knows that we've got a free giveaway this evening. So we're going to hear a little bit more about that in just a minute. If you are not connected to our social media, we have links down below. You can also click on those and follow us. That's very much appreciated. And especially, I want to make sure that you all know if you have a question during tonight's presentation, feel free to just go ahead and type it in the comments section. We'll make sure that we get to it and answer your questions. We're excited this evening to welcome from Séura, Tony Blodgett, who is the Director of Residential Sales, and we're very excited to have him. So, Tony, welcome to our broadcast.
Hey, thanks, Joe. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. How's the weather in Wisconsin today?
Oh, it's nice. Looks nice and sunny and about 80 degrees, kind of a nice summer day. So
Good. Gotta love the
baseball weather.
summertime.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We have plenty to talk about with Séura today, but first I'd like to hear just a little bit about Tony and your background, your story of how you got involved with Séura, and maybe you were involved in the CE products industry before you came with Séura, or tell us a little bit about that if you would.
Sure. Yeah, I've been with Séura since 2010, actually.
Okay.
So, and this is our 20th anniversary. So it's been a fun ride. To see the company grow and just see the products evolve that we provide. So actually first started within our commercial hospitality team. So big thing what we do is work with the hospitality industry. So there's a great chance that those out there watching this, they probably experienced our products and didn't even know it, whether it's lighted mirrors or TV mirrors or outdoor TVs, just amongst different applications out there that the public would experience day in, day out.
Okay. And what were you doing before you came with Séura?
Before Séura, I was my background actually starts. So being in Wisconsin, I came up to Green Bay, where our factory is, from Madison. Before that, I was grew up in the Twin Cities area, about a mile away from Minnesota, in Hudson. But I actually worked at the Wisconsin State Capitol down in Madison for a while, and then I came up and was with a contract furniture manufacturer for a bit before I had the opportunity to jump on board with Séura.
Okay, fantastic. And I actually looked this up today because it's been true for decades, and I wanted to make sure it's still true. What is the number one consumption of brandy per capita state in the Union?
Wow, that's a setup question there, right? So that would be Wisconsin. But
that would be Wisconsin. But
not
I never
my go-to, but that's all right.
But I never knew the reason. Actually, it turns out that during World War II, apparently there was a fair amount of bathtub bourbon and bathtub whiskey and that kind of thing. And somehow somebody in Wisconsin got a hold of a shipment of brandy that was legit distilled brandy, and that word spread. And that's actually how an old fashioned in Wisconsin came to be more commonly made with brandy than it was with whiskey or bourbon. So
I think Al Capone has something to do with that part of the story too, with him coming up from Chicago and having his hideaways up in Wisconsin and bootlegging. So, yeah.
I'm sure the bootlegging part's involved there. He was, I think, during the war, I think he was already off at Alcatraz, but that's a whole nother story. Yeah. Well, I'm really excited actually to talk about Séura this evening because, so many of the products that we sell here at Gramophone are really kind of updated versions of what was being sold 30 and 40 years ago, receivers and speakers and those kinds of things. And I love all those products. But when I think of some of the products that you guys manufacture, they're so interesting because 40 years ago, they're products that you might have seen like in an episode of the Jetsons or something, to where, that you guys really have helped invent some of the categories that are pretty commonly sold now by custom integrators. So maybe you can tell us just a little bit about the really cool story, the backstory of how Séura actually got started.
Yeah. And with this being our 20th anniversary, it's a common theme to be recapping that story and reviewing the history. So I mean, the TV mirror for a bathroom application is really where this starts. And our co-founders and current owners, Tim and Gretchen Gilbertson, they saw someone with a DIY TV mirror in a parade of homes where it was pretty rudimentary though. They had a just CRT TV behind two-way mirror, and just through their through their
Ingenuity.
background,
Yeah.
yeah, ingenuity, they
And
were able
engineering
to.
annuity.
Yep. They were able to develop, a dedicated solution where we really were the first to come out with a true finished TV mirror solution for a vanity application. And from there, lighted TV mirrors, lighted mirrors, entertainment mirrors, hydro indoor waterproof TVs, and even outdoor TVs. They all evolved from that initial vanity TV mirror way back over 20 years ago.
And when they made that TV mirror, they literally cobbled at least the first prototype together in their garage, right?
Yeah, Séura got its start right in their garage, and since then we've grown into multiple factories. Into the factory we've been in, that's tripled in size since 2008, about when this was getting built. So it's like I said, it's been quite the evolution to start in a garage and evolve into a factory where we're producing tens of thousands of mirrors a year.
And selling them actually all over the world, right? Because you have several export markets that you're involved in now.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, especially through that hospitality industry, and
Right.
so TVs and outdoor TVs, they're that's kind of one category when it comes to the flexibility with where that product can go and get shipped to. But then with lighted mirrors, I mean that provides a lot of flexibility in where we can see our products live.
Well, and that's, I think, for me personally, the other reason why I'm excited about tonight's conversation, because you actually have so many different categories that you guys play in. And, I kind of became aware of you because of the outdoor TVs, and what a shock it was for me to see an outdoor TV where you could actually really see the picture. But I realize now that you're involved in so many other categories as well. So maybe we could actually start out with a very simple one, but one that can really upgrade a home. A lot of times, of course, when people are upgrading a home, they want to start with the kitchen and the bathroom. So lighted mirrors are a big deal for you guys. Maybe you can just start by explaining a little bit about your lighted mirror category and what you're doing with it.
Yeah. So we provide, video solutions throughout the home, inside and out, where a regular TV can't go, but then different degrees of mirror technology for both bathroom and wardrobe applications. So lighted mirrors, every bathroom needs a mirror, every bathroom needs lighting. And a lighted mirror is really a superior lighting solution because it shines light on the face versus down. So it minimizes that shadowing. And there's, a lighted mirror on its own it's a very commoditized category. You're going to find different degrees of quality out there. And with Séura, everything we do is of the highest quality. Everything we do has high elements of technology and design. And so with our lighted mirrors, you can the best quality mirror, the best quality lighting source. And then what's really cool with what we can do is we can provide tailored solutions to meet your space. And as a U.S. based manufacturer, that's something that goes a long way. So.
Yeah. And I think cosmetically, I never quite realized, even after I sort of understood the concept of lighted mirror. So yes, you have to have lighting in the bathroom and a mirror, but I never quite realized cosmetically how beautifully your products, the fit and finish and the way it makes a bathroom, there's not that many things in a bathroom. It really makes a bathroom look distinctly different when you use your lighted mirror solutions.
Yeah, there's very high elements of design within that.
Yes.
But again, especially when we're able to look at that space and provide the right functionality, with the right lighting design, it's, the function of that product is superior.
Sure. Well, if you want to just go ahead, I know you've got some things you want to present about each of the types of products. So if you want to dig right in,
Sure.
please feel free to do that.
Yeah. So with lighted mirrors, like I said, this is a product that really serves as, fulfilling a need for all the bathroom applications. It is the task lighting fixture within a bathroom or wardrobe application. You're going to see price points that start at well under $1,000, and frankly, whether you need what we call a standard, but really everything that we do is made to order. So we can provide products that are going to fit that space.
So when it comes to lighted mirrors, you not only have a wide range of them, but you can do something custom that will fit a particularly designed bathroom or wherever.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, if you want your name etched in cursive and lit up across the top of it, we can do that. Obviously, the more intricate that etching gets, then it's more decorative than functional. But we can have some fun with it, and we've seen through the years, I've kind of seen it all. So,
yeah.
But with that said, I also know where to look at that space and how to design our products to provide a great experience day in, day out. I mean, this is a space where people start and end their day. So they need quality mirror and quality lighting.
Right. There's really 3 areas of the home where everybody's going to be involved pretty much every day: the kitchen, the bathroom, and the bedroom. And, so those are 3 spaces that it makes a lot of sense to focus on, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, good. And anything more you want to share with us about the lighted mirror category?
With the lighted mirror, like I said, that's a category that when you're looking at a traditional sconce and mirror, just the investing that, but in a lighted mirror as an option, definitely something to look into because it is a beautiful product, very elegant, clean design, but also something that's going to provide that optimal functionality. So,
And go ahead.
I was going to say there's a question: are the lighted mirrors fog free? And we do have a defogger as an option. So if that bathroom application does not include, a good ventilation system, then we can provide defoggers on our mirror. In fact, we have a couple different control options with things. You can hardwire it and have it through a control system, or you can even have it be a standalone control solution with our touch button controls. So it just kind of depends on the space and the features that are necessary for that space, like touch button on off dimming, color temperature control, just to make sure that the warmth of that light is appropriate relative to the time of day, defogger, like was asked, and some other features.
With the touch button on off dimming, would that be something where there's sort of low, medium, and high already preset, or is it usually a ramp where it's
the dimming is going to be that's going to be fully kind of scalable as far as you turn it on or off, and as long as you maintain power to the mirror, it will remember the last setting. The color temperature setting, that has 3 presets, but then you can also scroll, for lack of a better word, you can scroll through those color temp options between 2700 and 6500. So it's a really broad range in terms of the color temp.
That's fantastic. I had no idea that there was that much flexibility and customizability, but people really love customizability. So I'm glad you're putting that into your products. More about lighted mirrors, or do you want to start talking the vanity TV mirrors?
Yeah, and I think with lighted mirrors, for a lot of folks, it starts with vanity TV mirrors. So when we're looking at, a vanity TV mirror, first I like to start kind of with the why behind Séura vanity mirrors. And yeah, there's definitely that wow factor of, that TV, you turn it off and it completely vanishes. But the quality of the glass is so key. And Séura's vanishing vanity glass is as close to silver mirror as you'll probably ever get for a true vanishing solution. So not only is it high performance in terms of the display, the vanishing characteristics, but really what's most important, I kind of joke our products work best when off sometimes. In this case, this is a space where folks start and end their day, and they need that mirror to be of the highest quality.
So it's only partly the fact that you've got the technology down to hide the TV in the mirror. It's actually that the mirror itself needs to be of extremely high quality.
Yeah, and we've evolved over, we're in, the glass that we have now is different than our original generation because we've innovated as time goes. So, here you're going to see, again, custom applications where sometimes folks will utilize multiple mirrors to create one large assembly. And we help manage that project just to make sure that, we're within the parameters and the scope of what's needed specifically for that space.
And what are the sizes of mirrors? I'm sorry, sizes of TV that you're doing typically within a mirror?
Typically, so our TV sizes range from 19 up to 75. And it's not really that the application dictates the TV size. The application is going to dictate the glass type, whether it's
Okay.
vanity glass or entertainment glass, or silvered mirror, depending on if it's just a lighted mirror within that space. Typically, in a bathroom application, you would see a 19 or 27-inch TV specified, but I've also seen as large as 75 for a bathroom application. Just kind of depends on that setup. So,
Yeah. Depends on what the person wants, I guess.
exactly.
And would you say that much of it is kind of oriented towards people just catching up on, today's weather, what the traffic patterns are like, that sort of thing, as they're getting ready for their day? Is that a lot of what drives that part of it?
Yeah. I mean, information is definitely the key factor. With that said, there are those of us, right, Joe, you and I mean, we're sports guys too. So just as you're coming and going and providing kind of whole home zoned video like you would audio, where you can actually, you're always watching the game. But yeah, certainly as you start your day, you're trying to figure out, hey, how am I going to dress today? What's the weather look like? How am I going to get the kids ready for school? So there's lots of different uses. And I think when people really have that in there and have it on a system where boom, this is what I expect to watch and gather information for that day. That's where the TV mirror can do that in a very elegant solution.
Very good. So, Tony, I feel kind of like the conversation right now is leading us very naturally towards something I was curious about earlier, anyhow. And that is, to what extent does Séura, when the customer, there's a lot of customizable possibilities here. So, is it typically the integrator who's working with you and your team to kind of sort out exactly how the product will be built and so forth? Do you get directly involved with the consumer? Is it a mix of both? Tell us, if you would, a little bit about how the process evolves, because certainly, if I'm redoing a bathroom, I may not even be aware that there's 19 and 27 and right on up to 75. So how does the information flow, the back and forth process happen?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, Gramophone is our that company that puts it all together. We work with Gramophone because we know that you guys provide optimal pre and post sales service and support when it comes to specifying the product to fit that space, whether it's working with the architect, designer, end user, the builder, putting that all together, making sure that the end user does have a smooth experience with their technology. And so that's our primary thing is, again, making sure that at the end of the day, both pre-sale and post-sale, years down the road,
Yes.
that the end user is really having an optimal experience with our products. And so we do that by working with Gramophone.
Right. I've often said, as far as custom install work in general, in the end of the day, when the product is finished, 3 years later, 5 years later, 10 years later, there's one person who really knows where all the wiring connections, how the programming, the things that can go wrong. There's one person who knows where all that is, and that's or not one person, I should say, but really the integrator who's in charge of the job is the one who's going to be needed to maintain all that, as time goes on, because people do want upgrades over time and that sort of thing. So obviously it's really good that you work through Gramophone to get the job accomplished, because in the end of the day, we're the ones who are going to maintain that relationship with the consumer. So that's good stuff.
Yeah, you manage the nervous system of the house,
That's
so
right.
yeah, it's so important to have you guys involved with those projects.
That's right. Anything further about Vanity TV mirrors that you want to share with our listeners?
I would say, the product that really excites me when I see, for a master bathroom, for example, or primary bathroom is, when you combine it all and do a lighted TV mirror, where you can really provide that full experience, that full solution for that space. It just provides, again, the highest quality lighting, with that experience of having the Vanishing TV right in there, and then being able to mirror that experience, pun intended, throughout the home. Again, just with a product that provides, a phenomenal experience in terms of, high quality reflection and lighting, that folks can, start and end their day with confidence in.
A lot of distributed audio gets sold in our industry, Tony, but I would think because we're such a video oriented society that probably there are a lot of people who aren't even aware that they can do business with a company that can enable them to have really distributed video, again, and in the most often used points in the home. So
Yeah, real quick question popped in here, Joe.
Okay.
Are the Séura Vanity TV mirrors voice activated? And I would say that would be something that, potentially would be related to the control system utilized. So our mirrors are not inherently voice activated, but depending on the control system, they might be able to integrate some voice activation features. So that would be, up to Gramophone to discuss that.
And I'm becoming more aware all the time of just how much we can do with voice activation. We have a voice activation system right here in this room where I'm not going to do anything with the lights and so forth because we've, tried to make sure they were right for today's broadcast. But the things that we can suggest now with voice to control the entire system, turning on the TV and getting the movie started and bringing the lights up and down and all those kinds of things. So yeah, that's really, in a sense, more of a Gramophone question than it is a Séura question. But I'm quite sure that because there's video involved, we can start that. So yeah, I would say that yes, through the control system, we can do that. And by the way, that's the first time I've seen the question pop up. So for our back end guys, if there's any adjustments they need to make so I can see the questions as well, that'd be awesome. Anything then further, Tony, on the Vanity TV mirrors, or you want to go to Vanishing Entertainment mirrors?
Yeah, I think we can talk about Vanishing Entertainment because, again, that's an application that evolved from Vanishing Vanity TV mirrors, where, again, when you look at a Vanishing Vanity TV mirror, again, what's so critical is the quality of the reflection, the brightness of that reflection, true color and clarity. But then when we go into a living area, folks want a bigger TV, but they want to see it in its TV first, mirror second in that entertainment application. And that's why we have our dedicated entertainment glass. Mm-hmm. And this is a product category that, there's a lot of applications where you would look and you'd say, hey, I want a TV here, but I want to hide it. Certainly an application for an entertainment TV mirror. But where Séura really excels to really enhance that application is looking at a space where you say, I really want mirrors here, or I want something that's a unique design feature, but I'm also a technology guy and I want to, technology person, I want to incorporate video with that as well while maintaining high design. And we can do that with our Vanishing Entertainment mirrors. So we have standards with frames, kind of looking at what makes sense for that space, a very elegant solution. But then, where we really excel is our customization capabilities. How can we scale that mirror to really fit that space? Make the mirror itself the centerpiece of that room. So think applications like home gyms, yoga studios, back bar applications. So really taking that product category well beyond, again, just where you want to hide a TV, but also into those spaces where a regular TV shouldn't go from a design aspect. That's what we do with our entertainment mirrors. You're typically looking at larger size TVs, just based on those applications, 55, 65, 75. Certainly if they made them even bigger, right? Like you'd keep going bigger is how things have evolved these days. I remember a 46-inch entertainment TV mirror used to be by far and away the number one seller, and that over just a few years quickly evolved into a 65. So it's and we provide those solutions for those spaces.
Yeah, as video manufacturers have gotten more and more sophisticated with being able to produce larger glass that's not incredibly heavy, so it can be hung easily on the wall. I remember thinking that a 42-inch flat panel TV of 20 years ago looked like a really big picture to me.
Yeah.
And now I'm told by one of our TV mount manufacturers that sales of 65 and 75 inch TVs are now kind of the norm. So even like a 55 is not nearly as commonly sold a product anymore, which is outstanding actually, because obviously the bigger picture, as long as it's got clarity, is going to be preferred. I also, Tony, loved how you started this presentation and you showed a picture of the fireplace with one of your vanishing TV mirrors above it, because that is such a common ask by the consumer. Can we put a TV, our TV above the fireplace? It's a very common place for it to go. But they have both the the TV and the mirror above the fireplace. Great idea.
Yeah. It's really kind of scaling the space.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just putting a TV there is not going to do it justice, yet folks want to have TV as an option. Mm-hmm. And even keeping in mind too, it's a TV mirror, so we need to be cognizant of reflection, but a lot of times when folks have a TV on, they're listening to it, mm-hmm. right? More than anything sometimes. So just having that flexibility to say, hey, we're going to, at night, we're going to watch TV. During the day, we might be running around, but we want to have the news on to listen to that. And like this install here, I love this application, the back bar, it's combining everything. It's a very common application for mirrors. We can scale that assembly. Here we have multiple mirrors to create that one finished solution, and you're showing off to your friends while watching the game. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's a phenomenal application to speak to what we can provide for that again, a regular TV is just not going to fully enhance that experience in that space from a design aspect.
Right. Love it. And so frequently, as you point out, when you're entertaining, there's some sort of video and or audio involved, right?
Yeah. And, obviously we leave it to you guys to take care of the audio for those applications. And it just goes hand in hand, and having the quality audio experience with the video. You need them both. So
yeah, love it. Anything more on vanishing entertainment mirrors?
No, I mean, it comes down to kind of that non-traditional spaces.
Yep.
Again, where do I maybe want mirrors? Where do I need mirrors in this space? But I can also incorporate video and have a really cool experience. Or maybe it's, I want to hide a TV and a mirror is the solution that I want.
Well, this next category of your products that we're going to talk about, I really laughed this weekend because we talked a little bit about the Hydra indoor and weatherproof TVs. And I saw a YouTube video of a very famous actress who you'd know right away, who was promoting, shampoo sort of products. And the video was quite literally of her showering in a beautiful bathroom with, and I, of course, wasn't able to clearly see whether it was one of yours or not, but I would guess it is. She was watching TV while shampooing her hair. And I thought, how cool is this that we're going to be bringing Tony on Tuesday to talk about these products among other products that you have. So please talk a little bit both about Hydra, but also about kind of that use case and how what you guys had to go through to develop a product that will work in that environment. Because if you put a standard TV in a shower, you'd ruin it, faster than you could snap your fingers.
Worse. I mean,
worse.
Concerned about the TV itself and the high voltage electronic device, but no, that brings up a great point with why the Hydra exists, and it really evolves from the fact that folks wanted to put a TV mirror, one of our TV mirrors, in showers. Shower applications became in demand. We said, "Oh, that's not really safe." And you need obviously tempered glass. You need a low voltage solution, something that's going to be certified to UL standards for that application. So we designed the Hydra indoor waterproof TV to be able to live at the base of a bathtub in the shower, 19 and 27 inch sizes. What's interesting with that TV, just because of how clean that product is, the high design with that, we used to be able to actually have custom back painted bezels. Mm-hmm. by far the most common color was Pantone color 877C. And I kept seeing it. And I said, why am I seeing that? They said, well, it looks like stainless steel. They want to put it in the kitchen. They want to make the TV an appliance in the kitchen.
Okay.
So, I mean, now we have dedicated stainless steel bezels and polished chrome to match the fixtures, brushed gold, and then, pro white and black onyx. And we kind of keep it simple with that because that's 99% of what folks needed just to meet the design of that space. So it's fun to see how products evolve into different applications just based on the ingenuity of really our customers and specifiers.
I love that story, Tony, because I've worked for several manufacturers. And the simple truth is that some manufacturers are much better at listening to their customers and what the customers want than others are, because sometimes the initial reaction is, well, there's all kinds of technical reasons why we can't do that. And what you're really saying is that you heard this from the customers and initially thought, well, we can't do that, but then realized, hey, wait a minute. If the customers want us to do it, let's figure out how we're going to do it. It really speaks to the innovation of you guys as a company.
Yeah. Yep, that's right. And, and we'll always continue doing that. And actually someone asked the question, kind of set it up, Séura outdoor flat screens. Well, that's Hydra itself evolved into our outdoor TVs. And that's a huge category. And that came about because folks said, hey, we love the design of the Hydra. We love the fact it's waterproof. Can you make it bigger and put outside? Mm-hmm. And so that's where our outdoor TVs evolved from the demand for Hydra to be bigger and put outside.
Mm-hmm. So I didn't realize that Hydra came first and then the outdoor TVs.
Yeah.
That's an interesting part of this story. So
yeah, Hydra's been around since about 2009 in our outdoor TVs. We've been producing outdoor TVs since 2012.
Okay.
The concepts first introduced in 2011.
Okay, great. If we're going to start talking about outdoor TVs, I just wanted to offer you an observation. This weekend, I was looking at a CE industry magazine that had surveyed a ton of integrators, and almost 2/3 of them, 64%, said that they expected their outdoor installs, now not limited to video, of course, but outdoor installs with audio and subwoofers and all those kinds of things. But 2/3 of them said that they expected their outdoor business would actually grow again next year. 1/3 of them, about 23%, I think, said they expected their outdoor business to be stable, and 3% said they expected their outdoor business to drop. So literally our entire industry is expecting to do more with outdoor next year. I would guess that at least a part of that is because of the popularity of what you guys are able to offer somebody in an outdoor TV.
Yeah, I mean, Séura's in a great position within the industry to really meet demand in some key areas. One is lighting. I mean, the industry is just really embracing lighting thanks to LED technology and the different experiences that can provide. And our lighted mirrors are a task lighting fixture within that category. And then certainly the customization of for example our entertainment mirrors, just as folks really try to get multiple uses out of their spaces, and us being able to provide scaled mirror solutions for some of those non-traditional spaces. And then outdoor. I mean, outdoor has been a huge category ever since really the Great Recession of 2008 is what spurred it, because folks were stuck in their homes and, not literally inside, but that's the thing, is they needed to expand their homes, and they started to make the outdoor space a dedicated room. Mm-hmm. And so technology followed to provide the flexibility with how folks utilize their outdoor spaces. Mm-hmm. So it's when we look and say, hey, how and where are we spending our time outside? There are outdoor audio solutions and lighting and shading, and in our case, we provide video solutions that bring that indoor viewing experience outside.
Mm-hmm. So maybe a good thing for us to talk about, if you don't mind addressing it, Tony, is the technical challenges of having a TV set outside are immense. Anybody who, roughly my age group, where, dad tried to grab the portable 13-inch TV, decades ago and bring it outside and put it on the picnic table kind of thing, even after you now run a cable to get power to it, realizes that the picture was virtually unwatchable because it was so challenged by the outdoor.
Yep.
There are also other environmental concerns and really a multitude of concerns. So if you can, before we talk about some of the specific products that you guys do for outdoor and why you're so popular outdoor, let's just talk about some of the technical challenges of having video outdoors.
Yeah. And what you're really speaking to would be two factors. One is performance,
Mm-hmm.
and the other is durability.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of performance, like our full sun outdoor TVs, it's a 2000 nit backlighted panel. And so folks have to give perspective to that. I would say most indoor TVs, actually give perspective to that. Our original and past generation direct sun outdoor TVs had a peak backlighting level of like 700 nits. So
Wow.
nits just how the backlighting level is measured with the TV. Again,
Uh-huh.
our direct sun TVs now, our new full sun TVs, those have a 2000 nit peak backlighting level. So the performance is dramatic so that TV literally can live in direct sun and perform in direct sun. So in our shade TVs, so TVs that are warranted for shaded applications, that is a 700 nit panel now. And we know that's optimal for a shaded application in terms of viewing. So if the
Mm-hmm.
TV's not getting direct sun, we have the best value outdoor TVs with our shade series outdoor TVs, just in terms of, that price point and performance that meets, that application, what that application calls for. But when you look at our full sun outdoor TVs, that's your four-wheel drive Ferrari right there. Sizes up to 85, and a big why behind that TV. So we talk about performance,
Mm-hmm.
but the durability. So this is a TV that's warranted for direct sun applications because it's the only TV with active cooling. So active heating and cooling.
Mm-hmm.
But keeping in mind that when that sun beats down on that TV, it gets so hot on that panel that it's necessary to actually have active cooling elements. What other TVs will do is they'll actually reduce their backlighting levels to try to keep the TV cool. Well, we want to make sure that performance is maintained. So our extreme temperature protection system is going to make sure that that TV remains viewable even in the most extreme lighting conditions.
Mm. It blows me away that your current direct sun TVs are literally 3 times as bright as the picture that you were getting out of your best TVs, just a few years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'll find, they're very unique panels. Like you'll find there's probably indoor panels that can certainly crank it up, but the overall assembly and design of that product is what really allows it again to perform and be able to live in those direct sun applications. So, when you look at the difference between 2000 versus 700, it really speaks to the performance.
I love that picture that we just had up on the screen a moment ago because it literally took me a while to realize that the one on the right was in fact the same picture as the one on the left. It's so much darker, dimmer, whatever words you want to use,
Yep.
that at first I didn't even realize it was the same picture.
Yeah. And again, too, all the products we produce, even the super high performing ones, all have that element of design. Again, It's the perfect harmony of technology and design that we produce. So that's another thing that you're going to find with our Séura outdoor TVs, even relative to the high performance. It's always going to be a design that's going to fit that space.
Yeah. And if you don't mind sharing, what are your more popular sizes for outdoor these days? What do you amongst the various size TVs that you offer, what do you see is really moving well? What's very popular with people?
Yeah, bigger is always the way folks are going, but we have a finite number of sizes because we done the research to really figure out what sizes folks need. So with the full sun, we have 50-inch TVs, 65, and then if folks need bigger, they're just trying to get as big as they can go in an 85.
Okay.
And then within the shade series outdoor TVs, 55, 65, and 75.
Okay. So you can really accommodate not only wide variety of applications. If somebody doesn't need a full sun type TV. They can go for a shade series, and I'm assuming keep the price down quite a bit.
Yep.
And then you've got three sizes within the two. So, and really kind of satisfy all the different needs.
Yeah, it really comes down to value, right? Like, again, you
Yep.
want to invest in the right solution for where you're spending your time out there. And, between coupling that with high-end audio and just really bringing, for an end user, it's like, I want to invest in the products that provide that experience that allow me to comfortably go outside.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in certain places, the outdoor season is relatively short. So
That's right.
we want to make hay, when the sun is out, literally. So.
That's right. Having lived in both, cold weather, I grew up in Chicago, and having lived in Phoenix, it's really kind of a different experience. If you live in a cold weather environment, when you get into that warm, because a lot of times, of course, in Chicago, Minneapolis, Boston, where you live in Green Bay, April may be actually still a quite cold month. So when you get that kind of May through September timeframe, you really want to maximize your time. And I would imagine that sales are actually quite good in those areas as well, versus a place like a Phoenix where you can be outdoors, almost year round, really.
Yeah, and what's interesting in those spaces, when you're in the Phoenix heat, is people are like, man, it gets to literally be 120 degrees, and the product's just, it's so necessary. Again, it's not even about, when you're watching it, but where you can have it live when it's not in use,
Mm-hmm.
just to make sure that that product is going to work when you need it to work. So.
Right. Right. And if you can, just maybe say a little bit more about, being able to have a TV set that you're watching in an Atlanta, a Dallas, a Phoenix, where it may get really, really hot. The TV itself is heating up as time goes on. And I believe I saw a spec that said an hour later, the TV will have risen maybe 25, 30 degrees. Is that right? Versus the temperature it was when you first turned it on?
Yeah, so these TVs, and both our shade application and our full sun TVs, they have what are called high T&I panels. So, the rating on that is up to 140 degrees for the actual panel temp.
Wow.
But keeping in mind that a direct sun will heat up the components of that TV so hot that a shade TV still is not designed to go in direct sun,
Right.
because the actual product itself will heat up beyond that. So
Mm-hmm.
that's where the full sun TV is necessary for a direct sun application, because of the active cooling in there.
Mm-hmm.
So you have humidity and temperature fluctuations in all these applications, and it's really necessary to have the right dedicated solution. If you put an indoor TV outside, certainly it's not warranted for 1 minute out there, and you're going to struggle with performance, and therefore you're going to kind of box yourself in with where you put that TV. And even low end commoditized outdoor TVs, right? Like, you always kind of get what you pay for in this world.
Sure.
And there's certainly lower price options, but you kind of have to look and say, is it important that I can not just have this to be warranted for outdoor use, but that I can actually watch it as well?
Yeah.
And that's where, investing in the right solution is so key.
Yeah. One of the statistics that I saw when I was looking at the CE industry magazine I referred to earlier is that they polled integrators on a wide variety of topics. And over 40% now, actually 42%, if I remember correctly, of outdoor installs are getting basically an outdoor TV. So it clearly is becoming more and more popular now to take care of the outdoor areas that are where people are going to entertain and sit outside in the nice weather and relax, which is so important, especially in those colder areas. It's really happening a lot. We've got a question now about how are the shade and full sun TVs cleaned?
Yeah, and that's a great question. So we, have optional protective dust covers, which I
Mhm.
recommend keeping, invest in one of those to keep it clean from dust and birds, and frankly, long-term UV exposure for the full sun TVs.
Sure.
So keeping it clean is always good, but the one thing you don't want to do with an outdoor TV is spray it with a hose, because hose water is groundwater. Groundwater is hard water. And if that
Yeah.
water dries on the TV, you'll get mineralization.
Mm.
So, these TVs, they're weatherproof. So when they get rained on, rain is soft water and it just leaves dust behind. So
Mhm.
to clean it, you really want to clean it like it's like you would clean an indoor TV.
Yep.
So you want to use dedicated screen cleaner. Denatured alcohol is something that folks will use, but just know that they are designed for optimal performance, which means that you want to clean it like it's an indoor TV, but understanding that it's designed for outdoor viewability.
And I think what you had said earlier is you actually have covers that you can place
Mhm.
over the TV to keep the direct sunlight and all the other elements that are, the wind is blowing dust and leaves and all that sort of thing. It
Yep.
would make a ton of sense just to protect your investment and keep it covered with one of your covers. You make some other products for outdoor as well. And I want to, give you a chance to tell us a little about things like, the various mounts and ways you can attach the TV, audio solutions that you might have. So if you don't mind speaking to that a little bit.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's key to have the right accessories to complement that space. So obviously, like with audio, there's different audio solutions out there, but our TVs don't have internal speakers because you don't want to rely on internal speakers outside. There's too much ambient noise. You really need, at minimum, a dedicated soundbar. And so we have a very high quality 80-watt soundbar.
Mm-hmm.
It's amplified. You can plug it right into the TV. There's a waterproof compartment on the TVs that have a 3-prong outlet right in there to be able to power that. So we have optional sound bars to provide audio. In terms of mounts, you name the application, we're going to have some mounts for that. And then obviously, Gramophone is going to have, other mount options if someone needs something that's unique. But between post mounts, ceiling mounts, tilt mounts, articulating mounts, we're going to be able to provide that as well. So providing that full solution, and then the protective dust covers, I would say would be kind of that third accessory category. So sound
Mm-hmm.
bars, mounts, and dust covers to just really supplement that full product solution.
Sure. I think a lot of times people don't quite realize that once you take a product outside, the sound waves that have been transmitted from, let's say you've got a TV hung in your room here, those sound waves are transmitting, and when they're hitting the back wall or when they're hitting the ceiling and so forth, they're coming back to you to some extent. As soon as you place a speaker of any type, especially as you say, a speaker in a TV, as soon as you place that outdoor, it never bounces really off of anything. That sound is going clear up to the moon, if you will. So
Yeah.
yeah, the tiny little speakers that are in a standard television set would never cut it for outdoor sound reinforcement. So I would imagine you're doing a quite good business with your outdoor sound bars and so forth.
Yeah. Yeah. Dedicated audio outside is a necessity, and those are high quality components.
Absolutely. So maybe we can just remind our listeners at this point that if they have any further questions about some of the things we've talked about, feel free to again type your questions in. Um, and Tony, as you and I are starting to wrap up a little bit, we've covered a lot of ground in the products that you're making, the products that you're having success with. One of my curiosities is, as you see various elements of your product lines growing and some growing faster than others are growing, how do you see the future for both the indoor, in the bathroom, in the kitchen, and so forth applications that we've talked about, and also outdoor? How do you see the future of the products that you guys are selling? And can you give us any thoughts about where you think it's all going?
Yeah, I mean, with outdoor, technology keeps advancing to really bring in beyond just outdoor TVs, right? But the audio experience and lighting to really keep enhancing that outdoor space as a dedicated room of the home and
Mm-hmm.
bringing those indoor viewing and audio experiences outside.
Mm-hmm.
So, as products, TVs get bigger and better, folks can really have confidence in being able to take advantage of being outside with outdoor AV.
Mm-hmm.
And then indoors, I mean, it's there's so much fun to have in terms of the application opportunities indoors.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, what we do is we're providing video solutions throughout the home where a regular TV can't go. We're
That's right.
complementing those primary viewing applications to really bring a whole home video experience. in just very fun design, tailored solutions for these different spaces, not to mention lighting. Again, different degrees of vanity mirror technology, or you're thinking your wardrobe application, places where just the highest quality light and that experience that you can bring with lighting, in terms of the, your dimming capabilities to set a certain mood, or the tunability of lighting to, really bring that wellness aspect within that category. And so it's a lot of fun. Again, we've been producing lighted mirrors for almost 20 years. And within the AV industry, it's always like, well, that's an electrical fixture, but it's like, yeah, but, now with the LED technology and what Gramophone can bring in terms of control features and options,
Yes.
And what we can do to provide, the products to supplement what you're doing throughout the home with lighting, with our lighted mirrors, that's the, probably the strongest tailwind of everything that we have going in the residential market. So
Yeah. It seems like every realtor knows that if you are thinking about selling your home, the two things that you can spend money on that you're likely to get back when you sell the home are the kitchen and the bathroom. And I think, it's really kind of been interesting for me now getting more involved with your product line, the whole lighted mirror aspect. It can just make because we have lighted mirrors here at our experience center in Timonium, and it makes such a difference versus, you walk into the bathroom and it's almost disarming at first. Wow, this looks really cool. Why does it look cool? It's just a bathroom. And then you realize that it's the lighted mirror. And I think lighting as a category in general, of course, it seems like every year Gramophone does more business with lighting because people keep becoming more aware of how much you can enhance a space when you introduce lighting. And you guys are one of the few vendors I can think of that brings all the technology you have to be aware of to do TV right, to do video correctly, and integrate it with lighting. You're really kind of in an enviable position that way.
yeah, no, I appreciate that. So
Good. Well, Tony, this has been a blast for me. I've really enjoyed talking to you about these products, and we want to talk a little bit about the fact that our viewers and listeners today can win a free lighted mirror for themselves.
yeah, we want to make sure that folks, want to appreciate everyone's time to join us and be able to actually experience a Séura lighted mirror directly. So, what's really neat is again the fact that we can scale our mirrors, within certain size ranges and provide that experience for one of your customers.
Right. So in order to do that, of course, you need to either scan the QR code, or check the link that you see. And we actually have that up on our screen right now. We have fantastic products, Tony, from your company, from Séura, and we want to urge all our customers who are at least somewhat local to Maryland to stop in either here in Timonium, where we've got our store and the Experience Center, or in Columbia and Gaithersburg, where you can see these products and experience them, and talk to our designers a little bit about what your own personal situation may be, because our designers can really start to customize it for you as well. We also do a pretty fair business out with your product out of our Kitchen Design Center. That's a business that becomes more important to us every year as people realize that they want to get the kind of treatment and care when it comes to redesigning a kitchen or redesigning a bathroom. They want to get that experience that Gramophone has brought for almost 5 decades now, in the audio and video space. So our Kitchen Design Center, that's located about maybe a 7 or 8 minute drive north of us here in Hunt Valley, is another place where you can go to discuss all the various solutions from Séura and integrate that straight into your kitchen or bath project. So, Tony, thanks again to you. We want to make sure we urge everybody who's on our live stream today to just remember to subscribe to the Gramophone channel and follow us on social media. And keep up with our future. Every month we try to do one of these Gramophone live events that we always enjoy doing so much. And by following us on social, of course, you'll also be able to keep up with the content that we're providing. Tony, one last thank you to you. It's because I spent 8 years in Wisconsin, and I'm probably one of the few guys in the industry you can talk to who actually saw a Brewers World Series game. which the Brewers won, by the way. Rockin' Robin Yount blasted a triple, blasted a double, and scored 3 runs in that one. So, it's been a total pleasure having you on. Any last thoughts that you have before we wrap up?
Just thanks to you and the Gramophone team, Joe. Really appreciate the time and the ability to present to everyone.
Well, thanks so much to you again, Tony, and thank you to all of our viewers who joined us. This will live on YouTube now as we wrap up. So thanks to all for watching. We'll see you again soon.
Thanks.